Hello, hello, hello. How are you good people doing? Today is Thursday, March 18th, 2021. And this is Priscilla Giddens, and I am your host on Giving You the Business podcast. Now, today I am basically talking about how to know if you are an empath. Yep, an empath. That is someone who takes on other people's emotions and make them their own. So with that being said, we're going to jump right in because I am pretty tired today. I had a long day at work, so I just wanted to come give y'all a little bit of information, share with my fans. So I am what I would say a strong candidate for being an empath. An empath is someone who often feels deeply tuned into the feelings of people around them. They get uncomfortable when they are around large crowds, and they are sometimes considered sensitive people. You sometimes take on emotions of other people. Have you ever been on the phone with someone and they were telling you everything that was going on with them, and then you instantly start to feel their emotions? Or someone ever said, I am sick, I don't feel well, and then all of a sudden you feel like you getting a headache or, oh, my back is hurting. It's like you take on the emotions of other people. And that's what we're talking about today. So if you have a lot of empathy for someone, and let's just say your friend say, my cat got killed today, and you automatically either feel the pain that they're going through or you start crying, you may be an empath, because we supposed to sympathize with people and, express express our gratitude towards their situation. Well, not gratitude, that may be the wrong words. Express our sympathy towards the situation and then move on. We don't supposed to dwell in that emotion, because when we dwell in that emotion, when the people hang up, they have buried the cat and they have moved on, but yet you're still worried about the cat that got killed down the road. And next time they call, the first thing you ask is, how you doing since your cat died? You just may be an empath. All right, so closeness and intimacy can sometimes overwhelm people that are empath. Most people who are empath, they like to be alone. They don't like to be around someone immediately after getting off from work or having a hard day. You just want some time to yourself. And yeah, I know most people would say, well, that's all of us. We all want time to ourselves. No, it's a difference. It's like you may have, you may notice sensory overload or a frayed nervousness. You may have a feeling like you're talking too much, the person is talking too much, or they're touching you too much. Also, you may express your need for time alone, meaning I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. You tell the partner, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I just feel a little stressed and I just want to be alone. I don't need nobody in my space right now. Also, you may have good intentions. Have you ever felt like you have a strong gut reaction to things that feel a little bit off for you? Like you tend to be able to pick up on subtle cues that provide insight on the thoughts of others. You may suggest that I know how you feel. I can feel it. I can feel your energy. You know, people that are empath, they may put a lot of faith in their instincts when they make a decision. Other people may make a decision off of impulse, where an empath may make a decision based off of instinct. Yeah, it's like they trust their intuition. I can say I do that a lot. My intuition, I try to let it lead me. A lot of times, my intuition will tell me to do something. I won't do it, and then I do the opposite, and then I end up in a bad situation, and then I say, man, I should have did such and such. Have you ever been like that? And then, like I was saying earlier, you may not do well in crowded places like basketball games, football games, clubs, church even, concerts, libraries where there's a lot of people. You may feel uneasy and uncomfortable. Most empaths, they can easily get overwhelmed by feeling everything more intensely. They easily sense how others feel. Like they have a hard time handling the emotional noise from a crowd or even a smaller group of people for that matter, especially for an extended period of time. And it's like they can pick up on a lot of negative emotions and energy and even physical distress from people that be around them. They become overwhelmed, physically unwell. I mean, an empath can feel very uncomfortable or feel most comfortable on their own or in the company of a few people. Instead of having a whole bunch of people around, you may want to just be around 2 or 3 people. Also, you always have a problem. As an empath, you may have a problem not caring. You know how we always say, I promise you I don't care no more. I'm through. It's over with. I'm done. I just don't care no more. You know what I mean? It's like you try not to care, but you end up caring anyway. It's like no matter what you do, you try to put on that tough skin and say, you know what, I don't care. I'm just going to have this I don't care attitude. Then next thing you know, you right back caring. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever been in a relationship with somebody and the person, did something to hurt your feelings, and what they did, you was like, I don't care if they do that again. I don't care no more. I'm just going to overlook it. And then as soon as they do it, you right back caring. It's like I say we, but people that are empath, they have a hard time pretending not to care. And people tend to tell you their problem. You're the type of person that other people like to dump their problems on because they know that you're going to try to find a solution. You're going to try to do everything you can in your power to help them. And then they feel like after they talk to you, the burden has been lifted and now they can go on with their day. But then you have all of that negative energy dumped into your lap. Now you're taking on all these emotions that this person has dumped on to you. So it's like, okay, where do you draw the line? Do you continue to answer the phone calls or be around people who always want to treat you like a trash can? They just want to dump all their garbage in your lap, and then they want to go on with their day. You got to really determine if that's the kind of person you want to be, because it can be very, very, very stressful. It really can. And then also, like with me, I'm the type of person, I always feel like I gotta try to solve everybody's problems. Like if somebody's, say they call and they say, well, I don't have gas money to get to work and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Here I am trying to help them figure out a way how to get the money or either try to give them the money. You know, that's a bad habit of mine. And then also, excuse me, you may have a high sensitivity to sounds, smells, or sensations. Like for instance, somebody can have on perfume and they don't think it's too strong, but you may say, oh, that perfume is very, very strong. Any kind of jarring sound, physical sensation may affect you more strongly than it would someone else. You prefer to listen to media, any kind of music, at lower volumes than the average person. And you prefer to get your information through reading. That may be a sign of you being an empath, have a sensitivity to sound. If you need to have time to recharge, and I think all of us personally, I really do. I think all of us need more time to recharge. Like if you've had a very heightened day and, excuse me, you've had a very heightened day and you feel like, hey, this day has just been way too much for me. Normally, my days go pretty smoothly. I just need some time to recharge. I don't want to be around nobody. Emotionally overwhelmed. It don't always mean that you're an introvert because you want time alone, but most empaths can also be considered extroverts or fall anywhere in the spectrum. But what I'm saying is a lot of times you may need more time than the average person to go recharge. Like where I may need 5 minutes, you may need an hour. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. But you don't like conflict. And that's me. I definitely do not like conflict. I absolutely dread conflict, and I do everything I can to avoid it. If I see somebody that I want to talk to, right, let's say I'm riding down the road, and I see somebody I want to talk to, and they around somebody that's always confrontational and always defensive, I might keep going and don't even stop and talk to that person because I don't want to interact with the other person. I have been known to do that. So, hey, excuse me. I told y'all I was tired. I've had a long day. And I think I'm almost to the end. Yay. As an empath, you may often feel like you don't fit in. You always think that people are talking about you, or you always pick up a negative vibe from, people, and the people don't even really have that negative to say towards you. You know what I mean? Like, you may often feel like you're not good enough, or, just that feeling of being, what would I say, less than, don't fit in, you devalue who you are, you measure yourself up against people who have a lot of money. I mean, that's the kind of things that empaths do. They just always feel like they're never good enough. Now, that's one thing. That's not me. I feel like I'm more than enough. Now, another trait that you may be an empath is you may tend to isolate yourself away from the world. You like to take a lot of time to yourself, and it's like you isolate. When I say isolate, where let's say a bunch of people may be in the living room, but you'll go shut up in a bedroom. And then when they ask you, like, why you won't come out here with us? Oh, I'm reading, I'm listening to this. You find excuses for not being in the living room with everybody else. It may be a sign. And if people drain you easily, you may want to consider, adding a dog, cat, or something into your life so that you can spend time, with that animal. You can connect to the animal. Most empaths, they like to connect with animals more intensely, and they do draw deep comfort from the bonds that they have with those animals. And the next thing is you have a hard time setting boundaries. And, boundaries are very, very important in any relationship, no matter if it's a relationship with a spouse, significant other, family, friends. That's something that you definitely would have to, learn how to do. Empaths are people who are pretty much struggle to turn off the ability to feel and find it impossible to stop giving to other people. And now I can tell you, even when I don't have energy left, I still try to find a way to give. And I wouldn't say that I feel that boundaries makes me feel like I don't care about my loved ones. I think that, what I'm trying to say, most empaths, they feel like if they don't give to the people that's calling and asking, it'll come off as if they don't care about that person. But a lot of people do give out of guilt. Me, I give out of, I pray about it. If God lead me, I will give. But sometimes God don't lead me, and I still have, sympathy for the people, and I end up giving them my money. But it's like I haven't figured out quite yet why I give when I don't want to sometimes. But I'm still working on that part, that's for sure. But other people will take advantage of you, especially if they know that you don't know how to say no. If they know you don't know how to say no, they will drain you of everything that you got. Also, you may see the world in a unique way. People with deeper emotions can drive their... deeper emotions can drive their intuition, and they likely will pick up on things other people may miss, or they make connections that aren't clear to anyone else but themselves, where you may say, oh, I see why such and such did that, and other people might be like, well, I don't see why they did that. I don't understand it. They should have never did that, or anything in general to that nature. Also, you may have an increased connection to the world that can also have drawbacks. Environments that don't provide much space for emotional expression can sometimes dampen the creativity and sensitivity of an empath. So you may find yourself disinterested, disengaged, and struggling to thrive. So my recommendation on that would be find ways to not always judge things off of your intuition, but judge by facts. All right, and the last thing is you can sometimes find it tough to cope with sensory and emotional overload. So it can sometimes be difficult for an empath to protect themselves from taking on other people's emotions. I find myself sometimes trying not to get into the emotions of other people. if I know you're depressed and stressed, I'm going to try to talk you out of being stressed and depressed. But sometimes I may hang up the phone and start feeling your emotions. So it's like I try to encourage people, especially through scripture and Bible, and pretty much tell you that all things are possible through Christ that strengthens you. No matter what it looked like, things will get better. Just keep on pressing your way. Keep holding on. Never give up. As long as you got breath in your body, you can always bounce back. It's never too late. So with that, just to sum up everything that I just said, we got to learn how not to get so emotionally attached to people, especially people who are going through stress and depression, because they'll draw you in to their space. They'll draw you into the negativity. Me, when people call my phone and they're doing all of that crying and they're stressed and they talking about how bad life is, I always try to give them hope. I never want them to feel like there's no hope and it's the end of the world. The last thing I'm going to do is make you feel as if there's nothing left for you to do with your life. I'm going to always make you feel like you can be the best you can be, and that you're never going to be alone, because God promised us that he'll never leave nor forsake us. So if God said it, you got to believe him. You got to trust him. You got to stand on his word. So that's it, y'all. I am exhausted. I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast. But I pray that y'all tune back in next week. Next week I will have a guest. I am so excited for the conversation that we're going to have. We're going to be talking about don't lose your focus. It's going to be awesome. So I just want y'all to always remember, in life, nothing is too hard for God. We got to trust him, lean on him, depend on him. We can never turn our eyes away from God. As long as Peter had his eyes on Jesus out there when he was walking on the water, when he got out of the boat, Peter was walking on the water. Soon as he took his focus off of Jesus, he started to sink. And that's how we do in life. So just keep your eyes on the prize, which is Jesus, and you will be all right. And as I say at the end of every video, stay woke. I love saying that. But anyway, put God first, seek his face, pray without ceasing. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe, and have a wonderful rest of the evening.